I guess we should ask Brahma. All right, no one understands that joke. 4 heads without tilak. 4 head without. What I'm quoting is, we heard very early on when we came in connection with the Krishna consciousness movement and reiterated at different times and traced to Nimai Pandit when he was teacher of his students in Navadip. And he may be also quoting some ancient Vedic saying. They're saying, a 4-head without tilak looks like an animal ready for the slaughterhouse. That means, from a particular perspective, to those who are meaningful, pragmatists, they say, we should concern ourselves with those whose opinion matters. They assert this with the implication that don't concern yourself with things divine that you can't verify. Like in the times of the Greeks, when they talk about, are you pleasing the gods or not? It's like, come on, you don't know. How are you going to know that? You seen any gods or goddesses recently? Right? So, forget that. You can see me, I can see you. We matter. Our opinions matter. Vox populi is vox dei. Right? This is an indirect way of saying that. To exalt the opinions of man over that of God. Flaw of secular humanism. Suicidal move. What Alexander Solzhenitsyn called the disastrous deviation of the Enlightenment. Ironically called enlightenment, a movement that eliminates God as a factor. It's called enlightenment. So they say that irony is the driving force in literature. So what could be more ironic than that? Right? Kamandatama, dense darkness. Say, to remove the God concept is enlightenment thinkers. So, but taking what they say, we hear Goddess Saraswati. She's the goddess of speech as well in general, besides the arts and artful speech. She's the goddess of speech. So in some instances, we take it that what was said with the intent of being offensive indirectly becomes a glorification. Shishupal's Ninda of Krishna, he's saying, Naradam, the lowest among men. But we're saying it's Narotam, Nara Uttama, the best among, you are the best among them. And many things like that. So, one Bengali poet, he expresses that human being is higher than God. Like Bengali humanist. Human being is higher conception than God. And we will say, yes, yes. the aprakrita lila of Krishna, the human-like pastimes of Krishna, are higher than the God concept. That's why Saraswati Thakur, like Godhead, because God, we know, it sounds very abstract, God. In some old cartoons from the 50s, I remember, where, and they all, it's interesting as a side point, the devil always looks like Lenin. Looks exactly like Lenin. That's what the devil looks like, is Lenin. This bald head and a goatee. But God would sometimes be this like a big throne with just like sparks, you know, like no person there. Or if it showed a person, no face. They couldn't bring themselves to do that. So God is an abstraction, right? Like Ishar in Bengali, it's the Bengali word for God. When Guru Maharaj is leaving the world and his internal dilemma is thinking of Mahaprabhu or Krishna, Radharani, so I think Nityanand, like that, and one Ramachandra Puri-like devotee said, just you think Ishar. Get out! Telling him, think of God. Telling Guru Maharaj. Right? Like Radharani's other self, to think of God. Nahi yogi gopeshwar. The Braja Gopis tell, we're not yogis, Gopeshwar. Who are you? Yogeshwar, or aren't you also known as Gopishwar? The Lord of the Gopis. That Ishwar, Gopishwar. Not just Ishwar. Ishwara Parama Krishna. Which Krishna? Dwarka Krishna? Mathura Krishna? Vrindavan Krishna? Anadi Adi Govinda. 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 Who can satisfy the senses of everyone, give joy. Krishna, we were talking the other day. He's giving sense pleasure to everyone. Vishvesham Anuranjanena Janayam Anandam Indivara Shreni Shamala Kamala Pranayam Anangotsavam Ananga Utsav, whose form is a festival, a feast for the eyes. The beautiful form of Krishna. Achintya guna swarupam, yam shama sundaram achintya guna swarupam. The inconceivable form. Then what are we doing? Trying to conceive these things. Huh? Is it not a type of madness to try and conceive the inconceivable? Say, what do? When you enter a country, they want you to fill out on the immigration form your occupation. So I said, my occupation is conceiving the inconceivable. That is my occupation. What is your occupation? Right? We need more people to specialize in the impossible. So Guru Maharaj would say, are we fools on a wild goose chase? Is it not absurd from a particular point of view? The finite trying to capture the infinite. Right? That's why he says, if you think you can understand everything about Krishna consciousness, you want to understand every last detail, and you've got every book available, he said, then you would be another infinite. That's Guru Maharaj's response. Then you would be another infinite. Then you'd be a Dhokshaja too. Janmadyasya yathonvayat itaratas cha arteshu abhigya swarat. As they say, God only knows. That's true. God only knows. And maybe there's things he doesn't know. Who's omniscient? He can't estimate the love of Radharani, the depth of that. How much love his devotees have is astonishing to him. How beautiful he is, he cannot estimate. Right? So, Godhead. And that man said, human being is higher conception than God. Yes, a Prakriti Leela of Krishna. That's true. And what was, we should concern, the pragmatist saying, we should concern ourselves with whose opinion matters. Yes. Vaishnavi Pratishta Tate Korunishta. Yes. Vox Populi is not Vox Dei. The sum total of the finite is never equal to the infinite. So, whose opinion matters means Sadhu Shastra Guru Vaishnav. So it reminds me, Prabhupada, he had, like Gurudev, some code words, code for certain things that might cause embarrassment if they were said in front of others. So one was SR, simply rascal. So the devotees say, Prabhupada, what about Swami so-and-so? SR. Right. So he had different things like that. So one day, they're wearing the tilak and dressed like the devotee and everything, going in the public. Prabhupada said, you will not be SM? And they were thinking, all right, SR is simply rascal. What's SM? SM. You will not be SM? It's funny, when Bengalis say any word that doesn't have an H, it's sh. And when they say words that are sh, they drop the H. So he's saying, you will not be ashamed? You will not be SM? So, we're trying to please Guru and Vaishnav. Like Avadut Maharaj was once telling, in the Russian circus, there's always a bear who rides a bicycle or a unicycle or something like that. Not that that's the only thing, but that's kind of standard. There should be a bear riding a bicycle. So Avadut Maharaj said, when he took sannyas, he said, if I'm like the Russian bear riding the bicycle for the amusement of Gurudev, then that's my happiness. He was saying in Homi, is this not comical? But if it gives my Gurudev happiness, then a laugh at my expense, it's okay. Right? So who are we concerned about? Who are we concerned what we look like to? The people of the world or Guru and Vaishnav? So, gopis decorate themselves, they make themselves look nice for Krishna. Right? Like they always have a running dialogue. Do women make themselves look nice for men or for other women? 1 week it's for men, 1 week it's for other women. And it will go on till the end of time, this all-important dialogue. But what we're told is the Braja Gopis, they make themselves look nice for Krishna. That's why. And that's a very beautiful thing. So they're dressing nicely. So we'd see on like Gaur Purnima, Gurudev liked to see everybody, ladies and gents, in new clothes. It's also like part of Vedic culture. And we know sometimes the new clothes are stiff, they're not soft and wavy. It's a little awkward, but you'll see on any major holiday in Bengal and other parts of India, but we know Bengal the most, everyone wearing something new. In honor, and what I mean to say is, maybe that makes them look a little awkward, but they're doing that to please the higher. On Saraswati's day, puja, yellow. You see the girls wear like yellow dress, yellow sari, yellow. It's her color. And other times too. So it's part of the Vedic culture. So Tilak is an identifier. Reminds me, Guru Maharaj said one of his godbrothers, I think, they used to call him Old Tirtha Maharaj. That means Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha. Guru Maharaj said, he used to say that if you don't have neck beads, is like a dog without a dog collar. He'll be shot by the municipality. So you need your dog collar. And you see with Ajamil, the Yamadutas, Vishnu Dutas. So we revere the divine paraphernalia. Tilak and Garga Sangita saying Tilak is so exalted and powerful substantially that some devotee was putting his tilak on somewhere, and as it happens, when you go like that, it always happens to me, some falls out from your palm. On me, it just falls onto me, because I like tilak. So I don't mind. But him, it fell onto the ground. And then we're told, the worst type of murderer imaginable, sinful person, staggering to that place, he dropped dead and landed on the tilak, and he got liberated or catapulted into an infinitely better position. Don't count on it. That's what I'm going to do. When at my last moment, I'm going to stagger over and drop dead on some splattered tilak. You're better than that. If I dare say so. Set your sights higher. Why the least? Someone told me recently, someone read the Hidden Treasure and then in the end the Gita Mahatmya and saw some point in it saying, if the worst type of, atheist, sinner, murderer, this, that, it just touches a Bhagavad Gita before dying, he becomes liberated. And that was that person's Asura Mohan. How can that be? Saying, what they're telling you is, read Bhagavad Gita. It's an ad. They're not telling you, touch a Bhagavad Gita before you drop dead. The idea is if you get that type of benefit, then maybe it would awaken an interest to read the book. That's the idea. And then I told him, I said, but if you have to adjust it for him, you can say, one who is touched by the Bhagavad Gita at the time of death. I don't know about Russian, but in English, touch means move. You feel something in your heart. Yam yam bhapi smaram bhavam tajatante kalevaram. Tam tam evoite kontya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. That's scary. What you're thinking of, oh my God. Be careful, you might get what you want. Right? So we're told different ideas about that. Bhav, if it's bhav meaning heart, then it's not just going to be some momentary reflection. It's a lifelong culture. Gurudev would sometimes be delightfully surprised in his final days. He said, so much coming to him from the slokas, the smaran of all the things he had heard and experienced in Krishna consciousness. And he would say, why is all of this coming to me now, flooding? It's a rhetorical question. But my own answer is yes, the lifetime of seva. He liked that poet's poem about the bee who's collecting flower and just so absorbed in the collection, not in the tasting aspect. Do you know what I'm talking about? He would say, I've gone from flower, it's a poem. I've gone from flower to flower, just collecting so much, not noticing so much about the flower or this or any other thing. Something like that. We're told what comes from Madhavendra Puri. By the way, Raghupati Upadhyay was one of his disciples too, can be added to the list. So you know a guru by his disciples. Nityananda, Advaita, Ishwara Puri, Paramananda Puri, Ranga Puri, Raghupati Upadhyay. Of Madhavendra Puri? Perhaps. Anyway, that what is expressed from his heart, we're told, originally from the heart of Radharani herself. But it comes in his final moments, that expression. That is significant. In his final, if you, this is yam yam vapi smaram bhavam chajatante kalevram, to the extreme. That's what's coming from the heart of Madhavendra Puri while leaving the world. Inconceivable. Then what is his destination? Kim karomyaham, saying, but then what is his destination? Unthinkable, inconceivable. Krishna and Krishna, those who are attracted to Krishna to such a degree that they have no independent existence, but maintain their individuality. They're that much given over to Krishna. Their every thought, every movement, every gesture is Krishna-centered. So they like to decorate themselves in such a way as to bring about remembrance of Krishna. Just like if we see someone who has the paraphernalia of a Vaishnava, it brings about that remembrance in us. It's very natural. Krishna's divine paraphernalia.